and welcome to another State Champs at the State Finals program covering the state championships of the 2021-2022 school year. All of our final shows are presented by Lawrence Technological University, world-class undergraduate programs, and over 24 NAIA Division II level varsity sports, including men's and women's track and field. Recruit yourself. Visit ltuathletics.com. Today we're highlighting what went down at the MHSAA Track and Field State Finals. My name's Lauren Plant, and to help me today is a recent Michigan Interscholastic Track Coaches Association 2021 Hall of Fame Kermit Ambrose Award winner for his excellence as a coach. The Ambrose Award is named after one of MITCA's founding fathers and is the highest honor given at the Cross Country Clinic. Milford's Brian Salyers, congratulations on that honor, and thank you for coming back to talk track with the State Champs audience.
Anytime. Love talking the sport of track and field.
Let's start in Division I at Rockford High School, and this segment presented by L2 Athletics. On the boys' side, team title went to UD Jesuit. First title for them since they won it in Class B in 1993. Cubs took the 400 and 800 relay. Jaden Reed is who they lean on, and although he didn't win an individual crown, the team took third in the 1600 relay, and Reed's second and fourth place finish in the 100 and the 200 helped put them over the top.
Yeah, they have a complete lineup, and that's where you see their depth in the sprint races. They can cover anything from the 1 to really the 800, and well-earned victory for U of D.
The only athlete to win multiple individual state finals in D1 was Chippewa Valley Shamar Hurd, who did it in the 100 and the 200.
Yeah, and his 200 race was a sophomore class record, taking the former mark from Ahmad Rashad. So you're talking about so putting yourself in pretty high company.
Yeah, wow, that's crazy. There were two really exciting finishes as a camera review was needed for the 400 title. East Kentwood freshman Malachi Mosley was 4 thousandths of a second better than Oak Park's Josh Flake. And in the 800, Utica's Trent McFarland needed a great kick to beat Davidson's Brady McCardle.
Well, you're just seeing the passion of those athletes and the competitiveness, and nobody's conceding anything. And somebody's got to seize the moment, and they did.
Have you seen very many camera finishes where they've actually had to go to the photo?
Oh, you see it for places quite often, not always for first place, but you're seeing that differentiation between the second and third and fourth. But crack crew at Michiana timing did a great job.
Yeah, for sure, no doubt. On the girls' side, the City of Detroit made it a clean sweep as Detroit Renaissance won their first ever Division I state championship. Phoenix, runners-up 2 of the last 3 years to Oak Park. In the early 2000s, 10 of 11 state titles in Division II/Class B, but this was their first since 2007.
Yeah, and they were 97 to 2007. They won 10 out of 11,
yeah.
And that was moving up to Division I has presented its challenges. They've been runner-up, and now they got over to the top, and well deserved.
Yeah, and you can't talk about Renaissance without talking about Kayla Jackson, one of the greatest sprinters we've ever seen, and there have been some great ones over the years. She wins 4 titles, 100 and 200 meters, big part of the 400 and 800 relay titles, breaks an all-finals record in the 200 with a 23:51 time, which is insane. On Monday, she wins the Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Female Athlete of the Year. I mean, she earned all of this. Oh,
rightfully so. A University of Georgia commit. When we're talking about the legends of sprinting in the state of Michigan, her acceleration is the best that I've seen. She sets the tone early in the race and makes everybody else play catch up. And, when we talk about this, her times, as you point out, they would serve on varsity boys teams on almost anybody's team. I'd take her in a heartbeat.
Yeah, exactly. Oak Park had a good day, including a Division I finals record set in the 300 hurdles with a time of 42:38 by Morgan Roundtree.
Well, Oak Park, nobody's shedding tears for them for finishing second.
Right.
They've claimed a number of consecutive titles, and they'll be back. And you look at Roundtree and what she's done in that event. Again, chasing the legends and putting her name amongst the best that have ever run that race.
Traverse City Central's Julia Flynn pulled off a twofer, winning the 800 and the 1600. She even took 5th in the 3200. How difficult is that to run all 3 of those events at the state final?
Well, when you're talking about the duration of those events, and you're talking about the intensity of those events, and the lack of time between those events,
yeah.
I mean, from her 800 to her 3200, was probably 25 minutes. And she went front running style in both the 16 and 800, put herself out there and dared anyone to challenge her. And then, we talk about her finishing 5th in the 3200. She still ran a national level time. Right. It was just, there were other people there to take advantage. So a very impressive day. To run those big three, that at the state level is amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, congratulations to everyone who participated in Division I. Let's move on to Division II at Grand Rapids Forest Hills Eastern High School. This portion of the program brought to you by the Detroit Medical Center's Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine team. On the boys' side of things, Berrien Springs pulled off the team trophy top honors. This was the first team state championship. They were runners-up in 2018 and 1953. That's quite a gap. Now, for those of you who follow Berrien Springs football, you know Jamal Haley, over 2,000 yards rushing and 33 touchdowns this year. He won the 100 and 200 dashes, but this team only had 10 participants in the meet, found a way to win.
Yeah, sometimes in the state track finals, you lean on an individual or you lean on a couple of individuals to carry the weight, and you got to win races with that approach, and that's what they were able to do. I mean, they had a horse.
No doubt. We had a great rivalry renewed as Allendale's Patrick Adams and Sparta's Lance Riddle went to battle. Dating back to middle school, these guys have competed against one another. They are hurdlers, and it's probably only fitting that the senior Adams captures the 110 hurdles and Riddle the 300 hurdles.
Yeah, and that's where you see some of those. If you finish behind in the first race, you're amped up for that second race, and that's your only shot for redemption. So you see that sometimes where they flip-flop positions when you have athletes of that caliber.
Yeah. Spring Lake's Ian Hill won the 1600 and helped the relay team win the 1600 as well. He was third last year, battled an extended bout with flu mid-season, but he ends a state champ.
And that's something that he'll always cherish. And sometimes they're hyper-focused on those things. You realize those goals, and to do so, one of the people that he beat in that was Caleb Dreama of Pinckney. And we talk about doing the triple with Flynn. He did the quad. His team, he ran the 4x8. His team got second. He was in the 1600. He was in the 800, and on his fourth distance race of the day, he won the 3200. Wow. So you see some of that. The other thing that really stood out to me at D2 was Landon Cosby won the pole vault 15.9, great vault. But right behind him was Grocio freshman Sam Vertsman, and he went 14.4, which is a freshman class record. So now we're seeing somebody's name that we may see again in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's always great when they're making news on the pole vault. So we'll see what happens. On the girls' side of things, East Grand Rapids wins the team title. Now, this was a first for the team, considering the school has won 146 state championships in various sports combined. Cameron Bodine won the 800, Drew Muller in the 1600, and both were on the winning 3200 relay team.
Yeah, that's depth and balance. That's we talked about. Sometimes you're Berrien Springs winning with front runner. Here with East Grand Rapids, it really was more of sending bodies, hitting the relays, finishing, scoring multiple people in events. Good for them.
Yeah. Bridgeport's Shania Madison won her third championship, and this was particularly noteworthy because I guess she'd been suffering from fluid on the knee that started in her left knee, and she then had it in her right knee. It took 4 years for the doctors to truly diagnose what the problem was. Now, I haven't had fluid on the knee. I'm assuming it's very painful. She also helped Bridgeport win the 800 relay, but that's something else.
Well, and that's where you talk about the opponents don't want to hear your excuses when you show up for the line, right? So now she's overcome the obstacles, and now she's in a position where she's competing at her best level, and it's a great story for us track fans to see people come back from obstacles and persevere.
So if you're hearing any noise outside of what's going on, it is a downpour as we record this particular show. So just know that that's rain you're hearing, and it's coming down in buckets. Okay, in the field events, Ludington senior Ryan Rohrer won the shot put and the discus. She's another one that battled back from injury. She hurt her leg early in the season, had to take 2 months off, and she only added the discus this season, wins both state titles.
Well, and that's reflective of what type of athlete you're dealing with. I mean, these are not, the discus is not an event you just pick up. You've got to have great balance, great strength, great coordination, and to be able to do that.
Don't foul.
Yeah.
Because that's so easy to do.
Oh, it's to hurl that discus that far, that's impressive.
Yeah. Once again, congrats to all of the Division II performers at the state finals. Great accomplishment. Just getting there. Okay, Division III took place at Kent City High School, and this segment sponsored by the U.S. Navy Recruiting. Lansing Catholic grabbed their first state championship for the boys as a team since 2012. They only beat Saugatuck by a single point. One of the highlights, the junior Hunter Jones from Benzie Central had a pair of championships in the 800 and the 1600, along with a second place finish in the 3200.
Yeah, and we talk about Hunter Jones's, again, a monster triple. His team was right up there in the scoring, but weren't able to amass enough to displace Saugatuck or Lansing Catholic. And with Lansing Catholic, for Coach Tim Simpson and the team, that came right down to the last event.
Right.
So they won by a point. They won the last event. So they were down 9 going into the last event, won the 4x4, had to hope that Saugatuck didn't score 7th place or higher, and so Saugatuck was 10th, and that was the differential on that very. So how exciting! We talk about coming down to the very last event of track and field that happened at the state finals and for a state championship by 1 point.
We see that in swimming every once in a while, where it comes down to the final relay to actually crown the team state champ, and it is exciting when we see it in track. Saugatuck senior Benny Diaz had a great day. He won the 100 hurdles, 100 dash, and the 300 hurdles, and it's got to kill any coach when in the 200 he pulls up limp in the middle of the race with a hamstring injury. He was on his way to perhaps winning that title as well.
Yeah, and as we said, in a 1 point differential, this is actually an intriguing side note. In Division I, had that happened, they would have tied for the state title, because they were running on an 8-lane track and 8 advanced to the finals. And if he walked to the finish, he would have been awarded a point. He was competing on a 9-lane track, so he did not score a point for walking to the finish line. So that's a sub-story to the whole thing. But talk about the upside and the great part of Benny Diaz. His time in the 110 hurdles is the fastest time run in Michigan in 20 years. Whoa. So this is again, he is a phenomenal athlete. He's going to do great things at the next level, and he tried to will his team to a championship until his body would no longer allow him to. And so I know Coach Bauer and the people at Saugatuck could not be more proud of him and what he gave to the sport and to their school.
Yeah, and regardless of how it all played out, the bottom line is, he didn't do that until his final race. You know what I mean? So we got to get it done in those other races, and that's the important thing, On the girls' side, the cross-country powerhouse, Hart, won by a landslide, 63 total points, 24 more than runner-up Pewaukee, Westphalia. First title since 2018, freshman Jessica Jazwinski took home 4 all-state medals. So did many others on the team. So they did it with depth, not winning individual state titles.
Yeah, and Jessica being a freshman, her mom was an All-American runner at Michigan. She's got a great pedigree, yes. And they were able to just really pound those distance races. And her quad, and this would come back to 4x8 and them winning, and then she was 4th in the 16, 3rd in the 8, and 2nd in the 3200. For a freshman, you're looking. I don't think Hart's going anywhere. I think that's what we're saying. They're going to be there for a while.
Yeah, and so will she. So one highlight of the meet, you had future rivals in Indiana signee Kylie Polton from Holland Black River and Purdue commit Lanny Bloom getting it done in their respective races. Polton wins the 100 and 200. Bloom takes the 800 and the 1600. Some future Big Ten runners running big time.
Well, and we're talking about the talent level in the state of Michigan. When you're winning races at the state level, you are ready to step in at the next level. And you look at Lanny's races. She won the 1600 by nearly 5 seconds. She won the 800 by nearly 7 seconds. Those were running away from the field. In same thing with Kylie in the sprint race, is very dominant presence. So yeah, great talent in the state of Michigan.
That's just some of what went down in Division III. The next segment is brought to you by the Oakland Schools Technical Campuses. Over in Division IV at Baldwin Middle School in Hudsonville, on the boys' side, Kalamazoo Hackett Prep had a balanced effort in holding off the defending champs Carson City Crystal. They had 64 total points. Part of that is because they had a 1-2-3 finish in the 200. Junior Liam Mann wins, followed by Andrew Finley and Isaac Backman. How often do you see at the state finals a team see 1-2-3 in a state finals championship race?
Yeah, I had to go to the memory on that one. Yeah. So 1997 is the last time I watched that live in person. Ann Arbor Pioneer girls 1-2-3 in the 100 hurdles, and those are those kind of feats you tell yourself, well, I'm never going to see that again.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like just that kind of that type of concentrated talent, and That's
and this isn't a league meet.
No,
this is
state
finals,
state finals.
All the marbles.
This is Hackett versus the world,
Yeah.
and they responded.
There's the shirt. Those are coming up. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Carson City Crystal Zane Forrest was a finalist for the DAC Foundation's Male Athlete of the Year, and deservedly so. The reigning national champ in both the shot and the discus. He already owned the D4 state record, reset it, throwing 200 feet 4 inches in the discus, 67 feet 5 inches in the shot put, 3/4 of an inch from the all finals record. He's going to Michigan, his ceiling off the chart.
Yeah, when we talk about all the great throwers we've had in the state of Michigan, here's a guy that ranks number 2 all time in the discus and number 3 all time in the shot put. And that's all classes. And here's a guy coming from a Division IV school, small school, doesn't matter. He is a large man, and he's competing in the biggest division they'll allow him to. Moving to the Big Ten will be a great opportunity for him.
Yeah, he was the quarterback too, if you could believe it. Big guy. All right, I'm not sure how difficult it is to run in a cast, but it just seems like it would slow you down. But not true for Flint Beecher Jr. Jalen Townsend, as he repeated as champ in the 100 dash with a time of 10:78. I mean, what does a cast do?
Well, also depending on what your configuration, it could affect your block start, how you position your hands, how you position your body. Once you're going, you have an imbalance. Yeah. And it's a natural imbalance of weight and rhythm. Those are affecting all the things you do, and you know what I mean. It certainly doesn't give him an advantage against anybody.
Right.
But he's overcoming it and finding a way.
Yeah, he sure is. So he repeats as state champ. On the girls' side of things, another finalist for the DAC Foundation's Female Athlete of the Year awards, Western Michigan Christian's Abby Vanderkoy helped the Warriors to their first team state title. She, of course, won the cross-country state title 4 years in a row. Recruited a few friends to run, and then they scored for the team in several events. Abby sets a D4 record in the 3200 with a time of 10:49.25. Third time winning a track title for her. Scored in 3 other events, including second in the 1600. She's one of those legends that runners will be compared to for years going to Grand Valley.
Well, and I think her records and her times are going to speak for themselves. What I admire is here's an athlete that had a bountiful success early on, had some obstacles and struggles in between, came back, maintained her enthusiasm, engaged her team. It was never about her, it was about others. That's a kid you can root for. Yeah. And to see it culminate in this, that's a great storybook end.
No doubt. And again, for that team, for them to raise that state title, that trophy, I'm sure. And we asked her, and she basically said that means more to her than any of the individual awards. So good on her. All right, Mount Pleasant Sacred Heart senior Nicole Oliveri won the 200, then set a D4 finals record in the 400 with a time of 56:01. She was the anchor of the 800 relay team that won and the runner-up in the 1600 relay. That is what you call leaving it all out there.
Well, I think oftentimes people talk about, the big distance quads or triples, and hey, this person ran 3 races, and the volume is certainly very notable. But some of these sprinters, and when you're lacing them up for prelims, and you're running relays, and you're running, you're out there 4, 5, 6 times in a day. That is more than you signed up for. But here's an example of somebody delivering that for her team.
Right, exactly, and just the you could get injured very easily when you're doing that much because you're ramping it up so many times. And you said these include prelims.
Yeah. Most of the coaches are taking this into consideration, and you're trying to back it down at different times, knowing that you have this on the schedule. But in the preparation is there. But very impressive for sure.
Those are the highlights of what happened in the Lower Peninsula. Now we're going to take a look at what went down at the Upper Peninsula Track and Field State Finals.
I'm Jake Durant from the UP. The stands were packed for the UP track and field finals. Division 1 was very competitive. We'll start with the boys 4x800 meter relay. On the final handoff, Marquette's Carson Vanderschaft would find himself trailing in second, but then he hit another gear and would take the lead and finish in first place, giving Marquette the victory with a time of 8 minutes and 32 seconds. Moving on to the girls 4x800 meter relay, Houghton's Ingrid Segren will cross first with a time of 10 minutes and 19.08 seconds. Hurdles time, a close race in the girls 100 meter hurdles. This one gonna go to Negauni's Madison Peckrell with a time of 17.35 seconds. In the boys and girls 100 meter dash adaptive race, Marquette's Jim Bennett crosses first with a time of 24.31 seconds. Sault Ste. Marie's Johnny Osborne second with a time of 33.18 seconds, a personal best. And representing the ladies was Houghton's Mariah Velat, who crossed with a first place time of 26.56 seconds. Don't blink, the boys 100 meter dash is next, and this one was close. Right in the middle in lane 4 is Calumet's Dryden Nelson. He'd come in first, clocking a time of 11.47 seconds. Kingsford's Michael Floriano is second, with Kingsford's Diego Preslikowski third. The girls 100 meter dash now, two Marquette Redettes battling for first place in the middle lanes. It's Bo Truckee coming in first with a time of 12.98 seconds. Her teammate Julia Ott comes in second, following in third is Ellie Wagner of Houghton. In the boys high jump, Menominee's Brady Schultz, the strong favorite coming into the meet, and he did not disappoint. He cleared 6 feet 7 inches to take home first place. Here are the final Division I top 5 team results, beginning with the girls. Negauni is your UP champion with a score of 119.5. Second is Marquette. Third is Sault Ste. Marie. Coming in fourth is Escanaba, and rounding out the top 5 is Houghton. And the boys' results, Marquette wins the D1 title with a final score of 138. Kingsford a close second. Houghton is third. Calumet fourth, and rounding out the top 5 is Gladstone. Let's move on now to the Division II competitions. Starting with the boys 4x800 meter relay. Ishpeming with the lead after the final handoff. Parker Gauthier will keep the pace and he'll cross the finish line first, giving the Hematites first place with a time of 9 minutes and 4.42 seconds. Moving on to the girls 4x800 meter relay. This one had a thrilling ending. Ishpeming's Lola Corpian, Manistique's Ava Hinkson are neck and neck down the final stretch, but it's Hinkson crossing the line first. Manistique takes first place with a finishing time of 10 minutes and 40.63 seconds. In the boys 110 meter hurdles, in lane 5 is Ishpeming's Tremont Gauthier. He ran a personal best, finishing first with a time of 16.67 seconds. West Iron's Landis Sundelis coming in a close second there in lane 4. Moving on to the girls 110 meter hurdles. Gwynn's Lena Plow comes in first, just ahead of her teammate, with a personal best time of 17.77 seconds. Jordana Hardy is second, followed by Sienna Stein of West Iron. It's dash time, the boys 100 meter dash. To your left in lane 2 is Iron Mountain's Joey Kalavecki. He set a personal record time of 11.56 seconds for first place. Second is Johnny Matson of Ishpeming. Third went to Iron Mountain's Justin Matusewicz. The girls 100 meter dash is next. Danica Shamian of West Iron County is in lane 4, and she will cross with a first place time of 12.70 seconds. Mackenzie Hoffmeyer repping Bark River Harris is second, with Allie Schultz of St. Ignace coming in third. Let's take a look at a few field events now, starting with the boys high jump. Lance's Nathan Hochstein with an untraditional approach, but it works well for him. He comes in first, clearing 5 feet 11 inches. We move now to the boys long jump. Ishpeming's Johnny Madsen would jump the furthest. He came in first place with a distance of 18 feet and 11.75 inches. Nathan Hochstein of Lance took second, with Nick Anderson of Bark River Harris third. To the girls long jump, for the second straight year, Mackenzie Hoffmeyer would take first place with a distance of 16 feet and 1.75 inches. Here are the final girls team's results for Division II. Taking the title is Bark River Harris with 107 total points. West Iron County is second. Third is Ishpeming. St. Ignace fourth. And in fifth place is Manistique. And on the boys' side, Ishpeming takes home the D2 crown, scoring 116 points. Second is Iron Mountain. Third goes to St. Ignace. Manistique is fourth. And in fifth place is Newberry. Moving on now to the Division III competitions, we'll start on the track with the boys 4x800 meter relay. On the final handoff, Pickford with the lead with Dollar Bay right behind them, Hayden Hagen finishing strong. He crosses the finish line first, giving Pickford first place. Their time was 9 minutes, 9.4 seconds. The girls 4x800 meter relay is next. Munising showed out in this event. They had a pretty sizable lead heading into the final handoff. Jenna Matson crosses first with a time of 11 minutes, 23.25 seconds to give Stang Nation the win. The boys 110 meter hurdles now. In the middle lane there, wearing red, is North Central's Trenton Nazer. He was able to get over those hurdles pretty cleanly. He finishes first with a time of 16.76 seconds. Moving on to the girls' 100 meter hurdles. In the middle lane is Lake Lynn Hubble's Abby Coder. She finishes first, clocking a time of 17.19 seconds. Second is Ontonagon's Kirsa Kolpak, and Autumn Tremblay of Bark River Harris is third. We have the boys' 100 meter dash up next. It came down to lanes 4 and 5. Munising's Micaiah Paramaki and North Central's Luke Gorzinski. Paramaki edging Gorzinski. He crossed with a time of 11.52 seconds. Third place went to Reese Labine of Ontonagon. The girls' 100 meter dash now. The race would go to Ontonagon's Lily McIntyre, clocking 13.70 seconds. Second is Ashley Datto of Dollar Bay, and third place going to Emily Jokala of Lake Lynn Hubble. And in the field events, starting with the girls' discus, Pickford's Cadence Potazak will take first with her best toss going 101 feet and 7 inches. In boys discus, Munising's Micaiah Paramaki will set a personal record with a throw of 127 feet and 4 inches, and that's good enough for first place. Moving to the girls' shot put, Brimley's Grace Hill showcasing her strength. She takes first place with a throw of 34 feet and 10 inches. And finally, in the boys' shot put, Engadine's Drew French puts everything he has behind this throw, and it pays off. A personal record of 42 feet and 3.5 inches. He takes first. Here are the final team results for Division III. We'll start with the girls. In first place is Ontonagon with 74 points. Second is Stevenson. Coming in third is Munising. Fourth going to Lake Lynn and Hubble, with Brimley rounding out the top 5. Over on the boys' side, Pickford wins the title with 91 points. Munising is second, followed by Dollar Bay in third, North Central fourth, and in fifth place is Rapid River. Congratulations to all the UP champions.
All right, thank you, Jake. Really appreciate that. And a big thank you to Milford's Brian Salyers for helping us again break down some of what happened at this year's state finals. What was your overall impression of this year's championships?
Track is back. I think this is one of those things we've talked about as we exit or move on from the pandemic. It greatly cost us a season, and then last year there were a lot of implications on the season, and now you're seeing from freshmen to seniors, you're seeing the performances amp up, and the sport is very healthy and alive in the state of Michigan.
All right, well, let's do it again next year.
Outstanding.
Sounds good. I'm Lauren Plant. Thank you so much for watching this edition of State Champs at the State Finals.
State Champs at the State Finals is presented by Lawrence Technological University. LTU offers over 24 varsity sports for men and women, along with several dozen world-class undergraduate programs. Athletic and academic scholarships are available in all sports. Visit LTUathletics.com and recruit yourself. Also brought to you by the Michigan High School Athletic Association, promoting the value and values of educational athletics. The Detroit Medical Center Physical Therapy and Sports Medicine Pros. Do you have a sports injury, or are you just looking to take your game to the next level? Go where the pros go. Visit dmc.org/gamechangers. U.S. Navy recruiting. Call 313-315-2560 and talk to a local officer to find out how the Navy can take you anywhere from the sea to the stars. Oakland School's technical campuses are designed for any student who wants to graduate high school with industry certifications, on-the-job experiences, business connections, and college credits. Check them out at ostconline.com. EA Graphics. Get your official MHSAA championship merchandise at shopmhsaa.com.